So let's create our Unity project. Right, let's give it a name, inventory system. Right. Once you've got Unity loaded, you can go ahead and set up your project. So at the bottom we can create our folder structure. Now let's see. We need a folder for scripts, and inside there we're going to need one for inventory system. And go back to the assets folder, we're going to create another one for sprites. Inside there we're going to need one for inventory system again. And inside there we'll need a couple container. Oops, not bad. One for items, and that's it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to scripts, inventory system, we're going to right click and create a new C# script, and we're going to call this item. Let's open that up in Visual Studio. Once you've got Visual Studio open, you can go ahead and replace monobehavior with scriptable object. And we can just get rid of these and get rid of the start and update methods. And inside here we can do a public string. We'll call this item name. And then a public. Put it one outside. Public sprite. Hello. Item icon. And then a public integer. This will be max stack size. And we can just default this to say 100. And also we're going to need to add an attribute called range and brackets. I'm going to make this 1 to 100. So we can have a maximum stack size of 100 and a minimum of 1. We can't obviously have this as 0 because then obviously there will be no item. So then at the top, what we can do is we can say create asset menu, and inside here we can do file name, and we'll do equal new item. We save that and go back to Unity. We'll wait for that to compile. What you'll see is now you can right click in the project folder. Well, obviously anywhere in the project, and you can create an item. Obviously, and then we can just give you a item, and you can just define a name, a sprite, and then the stack size of the item. Right, let's get rid of that. What we're going to do is right click, and we're going to create a new script. We're going to call this item stack. This is going to be what holds the information for the items like the amount, and we don't need to derive from monobehavior. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to need a few methods in here. So first we'll need a public item public in count, which will be the amount of items in the the item stack. Another public in, and this will be slot ID. This will be defined when we create the inventory system. The actual inventory class. But until then, we don't really need to worry about that so far. So we need to create a constructor. So public item stack. I'll put some brackets in here. We can just say this dot item equal to null. This dot count is equal to 0. This dot slot ID is equal to I just put -1. Now we're going to need to create another constructor. So public item stack. Inside here we're going to need int slot ID. So we can do this dot item is equal to null. This dot count is equal to 0. And this dot what have we done? No, that was right. This dot slot ID is equal to slot ID, the one that we're passing into the method. So another one, public item stack. Inside here we can do item in count. And just do all this again. This dot item is equal to item. This dot count is equal to count. Color utility. Count, and this dot slot ID is equal to we'll say -1 again. Now we need to create another one, public item stack. Inside here we're going to need item in count and in slot ID. Open closing brackets. Scroll down a bit actually. Let me just zoom in a bit so you can see this better. This dot item is equal to item. This dot count is equal to count, and this dot slot ID is equal to slot ID passed in. Right, once you've got all those set up, what you can do is create a couple more methods. So public void set stack, and this will take an item stack as a variable. So say stack in, Inside here we can say item is equal to, no, we're going to need a few more methods before that actually, sorry. Public item get item. This will return this dot item. Public in get count. This will return this dot count. So now in set stack we can say this dot set item is equal to stack in dot get item. No, sorry about that. Right, this dot count is equal to stack in dot get count. Now what we can do is need to define a couple more methods. So public bool for this we'll call it is empty. Actually, get rid of that 0. I don't want that putting there. We could just do return this dot count is less than 1. This will return true if the amount in this item stack is less than 1. So obviously in this case it'll be 0, and it will return false if it is 1 or more. So now we need to do increase. So public void increase amount. Now I'll take in an int and pass in amount, and in here we can just say get this dot count plus equals amount. Then we can say public void decrease amount, passing in amount, and in here we can just say this dot count minus equals amount passed in. Now, now what we can say is, well, actually we're going to need another one that can set the count. So what we can say is public void set count. Make that a lowercase, that looks better. That'll take in a variable of int. Inside here we can say this dot count is equal to amount. Now we're going to need another one for public item stack. So this will return an item stack, and we'll call it split stack. And this will take in an amount as well. Inside here I'm going to need a variable int I. We'll call this, well, no, sorry, it's already called I, so math f excuse me, min, and that'll take in the amount and the count that's already in the stack. So that gets the minimum value between these two numbers. Well, yeah, sorry, the smallest of 2 or more values. In this case, the amount we're passing in the stack count. So now we need to create an item stack, and that's going to need to be a copy of the one that's currently here right now. So before we can do this, what we can do is we can go, need to create a new variable, and inside here we can do public item stack, and we'll call this copy. Inside here we can do return new item stack, this dot item, this dot count, this dot slidey. So inside back up to here, inside here we can say copied stack, and this will be this dot copy. Copy. Now we can do copied there. Copied dot set count, and we'll say I. And we can do this dot set count. That'll be I. No, sorry, no, we're not setting this count. We need to decrease this by I, and then we need to return the copied stack, like so. So what we're doing is getting the minimum value between these two. Then we're copying the item stack. And then what we're doing is we're setting the copied amount to the minimum value we got, and we're decreasing that minimum value, and then we're returning the copied stack. More methods between this, so let's create another one. Public bool is item equal item. This will take in an item stack. This will be stack in. What we'll do is return. And we need to just check if stack in is empty, and then we need to return. Sorry, then we need to check if this item is equal to stack in dot. Sorry, get item. There we go. So this checks if it's not empty. So we have an item, and then it checks if the item is equal to the one that we've just passed in for the item stack. So now what we need to do is we need to create a public static bool. This checks are the items equal. So we'll take in two item stacks. Call this stack A, item stack B. Now we need to return if stack A is equal to stack B. Then that will return true. Then stack A is empty, and stack B. Sorry. Then we're checking if these are not empty. Then what we can do is stack A, and then we'll just return if the items are equal from the item. The method we just created above. So stack A dot is equal. And we're passing in stack B, and what we'll do is just if that's, and then here, if any of them are not empty, then we'll just return false. Right. That looks like our item stack is done. So let's go back into the editor and see if we've got any errors. Nope. Right, what we can do now, new C# script and call this one inventory. Oh, sorry. Now, get rid of start on update, all those, get rid of mono behaviors, go new part. And inside here, what we can do is, right, we need a list of item stacks. We'll call this inventory contents equal to a new list of item stacks. Then we need a constructor which passes in a size. And then what we need to do is do a for loop. Int I equal to 0, I is less than size. I plus plus. Right. Then we can just do inventory contents to add a new item stack with the slot ID passed in, which in this case will be I. Alright, that's constructor done. What we need to do now is an add item method. So this will obviously be a boolean. Public bool add item. This will take in an item stack. We'll call this one input. Right. Now we need to loop through. Actually, this will just be a for each. So let's do for each throw. For each item stack in inventory contents. Then we need to check if the stack we've just found is check if that is empty. Item stack has no item, so it is empty. Then what we can do is just say stack. We'll set stack. Then we'll say input. And then just return true. Now, if the stack is not empty, so it has an item. Now we need to check if the items are equal. So item stack that are items equal. In this case, import and the stack we're currently looking at. And we'll say if they are true, then if the stack we found, we need a way to check if we can add the amount from the import to the stack we found. So we'll go back to here into item stack, and just somewhere around it we can create a new method called public bool can add 2. This will take in an int for amount, and in here we can say return this.count plus this.copy. Count plus the amount passed in, and you check if it's less than or equal to this.item.max stack size. That will return true if this is less than or equal to the maximum stack size of the item. Now we'll just go back to inventory and I can say if stack.can add 2 input get count. It should be golden here, so what we can say is stack.increase input.get count. We need to return true. Now if we can't, what we need to do now is we need to add the stack and the input amounts together and take off the maximum stack size. So int difference is equal to, actually I'll put these in brackets, stack.getCount plus input.getCount, and we need to take away the stack.item.max stack size. So this should return, say for example, the stack is 45 and the input has 6. The item has a maximum stack size of 50, so this will return 1. So then what we can say is the stack.setCount. We can just set this to stack.getItem.max stack size, and then the input dot set count will be difference. And we don't need to return anything, because then it will loop all the way back through until we've got no items left or we can't add it. So outside of the for each, we'll just say return false if we have no item stack to look through. And if I put that outside, oh no, it's got like, yeah. Alright, now we need to add a couple more methods. So in this case, we can just do public item stack. We need to get stack in slot, and pass this in index, and this will turn inventory contents, and that'll be index. So say we're passing in number 5, we want to get the item stack in slot 5. In this case, you'll look through here, find the 5th in the list, and return that. And then, just in case we need it, we can just return the entire content of the inventory. So in this case, item stacks, get inventory stacks, and I'll just return inventory contents. Alright, and that should be our inventory done. Let's just quickly see if that's got any errors. No, we're good. Right, we need to create another class, C# script, and we'll call this container. For the time being, this is going to be very basic until we decide to add more to it. So let's open that up. Get rid of this. We're not inheriting from mono behavior. We don't need a start and update method. And inside here, we can say, let's see, private game object container. We've got this spawn container prefab, and then say we need a private inventory. This will be a container. Actually, no, I don't like lowercase. Inventory. Inventory. Tory. There we go. We need another one. Private inventory, and this will be player inventory. So what we're doing here is we need to get a reference to the player inventory and the actual container we're opening. So, for example, just trying to think. Minecraft. If you open up a chest, you can see the player's inventory and the chest contents. In this case, the chest contents will be the container inventory, and obviously, player inventory will be the player's inventory. So what we need to do is we need to create a constructor. So public constructor inventory, container inventory, and another one called player inventory, and that's spelled wrong. So now we can do just like this, and this, the player is the one passed in from here. So this is this, and this is this. And the same goes for the and the same goes for the one above it as well. Right, now we need to do another method. So public void open container, and we can just leave this blank for the time being. There we go. Nope. Yes. And one public void close container. Container. There we go. Right, let's see what else we need. Public virtual. I need a virtual game object, and this will be get container prefab. And as this is just a base constructor, we'll turn null because we'll never access this script. What we'll do is create other ones that are inherit from this one. So that needs to be overridden. Cannot be left blank or null. Right. Then we need game object get spawned container, and this will just return spawned container prefab. And then we'll just do a few. Set those, all these are set to private, so what we can do now is inventory. Get container inventory, return container inventory, and then we can do another one for player. And that will return player inventory. So now, what we can do is, I know we don't have slots in the minute, but we can think ahead, so all we'll need is a public void. No, we can't actually. No, that should be the container done so far. So let's just check if that's got any errors. Nope. Got a few warnings on, let's see. Container. Ah, right. Don't worry about that. Now we need to create a new C# script. And we'll call this one inventory manager. Open that up. That needs to derive from modern behavior because we're going to add this to the actual scene. First, what we're going to do is create a public static inventory manager. We'll call this one instance. I think I'd rather like the idea of that being capitals. Then what we need to do in the awake, we need to say instance is equal to this. And then what we can do is we can wrap these in a region, so hashtag region, and give it a name, singleton in this case, and then hashtag end region. And then what that'll do is let you do a little open and close feature, so it makes your script look better in this case. So now what we need to do is create a new, at the bottom, a new class first. So public class, and we'll call this one container getter. Actually no, we don't need those. I don't know why I haven't done those. Right, and in here what we can say is public string container name and public game object container prefab. Then we need to serialize this, otherwise we won't be able to see it in the inspector. So public list container getter containers is equal to a new list of container gets. Now, what we can do now is private container. This will be the current open container. Now we can need a method to get the container prefab, which will be called from here. So what we can say is a public game object. We say get container prefab, and we can pass in a string for the name. So we could say for each container getter container in containers, if container.container name is equal to the name we've just passed in, then we can return that container dot prefab. If we can't find anything, we'll just return null. In which case you'll need to either check the name you're passing in or see if you correctly added it to the inspector. So now what we can do is public void open container, and this will take in the constructor of a container, and in here we can say if current container doesn't equal null, then we can just container.close, then we can say current is equal to container, and we need to do another one saying public void close container, and this will say if current container doesn't equal null. Actually, we can probably just copy and paste this like so. Then I'll close the current open container as long as there is one there. So now if we go back to container, here we can say in the constructor we can open the container from the constructor, and then what we're going to need to do is inside the open container method we can say the container prefab, spawn container prefab is equal to object instantiate, and inside here it will be the get container prefab from the inventory manager, and this will be inventory manager instance, and that'll be obviously actually the manager itself. But in this case, we're going to say spawned. Oh no, sorry, wrong. Close container. It'll just be object.destroy spawned container prefab. There we go. So now in the get container prefab, we don't need to do anything. That, in theory, should be the base for opening our containers. Let me just see if that works. And there's no errors. Nope. So now what we can do is set up our inventory manager. So if you go to Game Object, UI, create a canvas, let's set that to 2D. What we can do here is console pixel size. There we go. That just makes it look. I don't know why I need to do that. I just do inventory manager. I need to add that. Create. Now let's create our player inventory. In this case, obviously, we're going to need some sprites. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring over some sprites I've previously made. So documents. Let's see. Where are they? Are they in this one? Sprites. Yes, they are. Some I made earlier. Let me just set these to sprites. Single point, so they're not blurry. And in the container background, we can set this to. Need to slice it, so that is way too far. Yep, there we go. And we can just do the same for all of these. So let's just do the same for this. So this can be, how big is this? 32 seems like a good number. Yep, that's that done. The other ones we don't need yet, but I'm just going to do them anyway, just for the sake of time. So if I can, actually this one doesn't need anything changing to it, but the tooltip does, I believe. Yes. So 32, 32, 32, 32, sliced, nice, yeah, done. So now in Canvas, just rename this to inventory, manage, right click, UI, image. We can pass in, say, container, and that makes it nice, see? It's because it's actually a big image we're getting this. We can actually do this, let's see. Yeah, this one, see? As long as you don't go below the size of the actual image, you don't get all that stretching, like there. But let's change this back to this, and make this, let's see. 36 by. That seems reasonable. Now we just center that. Rename that to player inventory. And then we need to create a new folder. Create sprites. Prefabs. New folder. Inventory system. Inside here, folder containers, and another one for widgets, but that'll be for further down the line. So in here, what we can say, we can just drag this in here, and that's our player inventory done. Now go to here, find where you place the inventory manager, drag this down, and we'll call this player inventory. Inside here, we'll say pass in the player inventory prefab we just created. And now what we need is a way to open and close the container. So let's create a new script, just call it player. Inside here, inside update, we can say if input the get key down, in this case E for inventory, create draggable is open. So if is open is false, inventory manager dot instance open container. We actually need to create the player container. So find where your scripts are, and inside here we'll say new container player inventory. What we do is just create a folder for those, so call that container. Container player, container. Have I just duplicated that? Yes, I have. container and container player. So if you open container player, you need to derive from container, do this. Let's create a constructor, so public container player, and this needs to be the same as the one in container. So in this case, I'm just gonna copy and paste these and pass those in there, and that needs to have base. Actually, no, because I'm not really changing that. So if I just do this, and now I can. This is where we'll add the slots eventually. Well, that's for another day. In this case, in this video, we'll just focus on actually opening and closing. So, override. What am I doing? Let's find the override. Have I not set that to virtual? Fine. So if we go to container, let's find. Yeah, get container prefab. So public override void get container prefab. What have I done? The namespace already contains global namespace already contains the definition for container player inventory. Does it now? Where? How's that happen then? Oh, I actually duplicated them both. Never mind. And what is end of here? Base. I'll take in container, and then I'll take in player inventory. For some reason, it needs that. Then we can just say, get rid of sorry. Now override get container prefab. Return inventory manager dot instance dot get container prefab and pass in player inventory. This has to be the same as this. So if we copy that in and paste that there, then we'll know it's going to be the same. Now, if we go to player, we can say open a new container player inventory and we'll pass it in. In this case, we don't have an inventory, so we'll just keep passing in null because it's not actually doing anything. That will say is open is equal to true, and if we have a container already open, inventory manager dot close container, and just copy and paste this, make that down there, make that false. Done. Let me just zoom out, you can see that. Alright, that's a basic inventory opener. Now we should have no errors once that compiles. Yep. So now we can just create a new game object, let's call this player. Add the player script we just created onto it. Like so. Just check everything else is right. Yep. Now if we go to play, and if we press E, you should see the container being spawned. E again to close, open, and there we go. That's how you open a container for an inventory. In this case, next episode we'll be creating the slots, ability to drag the items, and a tooltip. And if we have enough time, I'll show you how to create a hotbar with a selected index. Alright, so that should be it.